This is IndyStar Motorsports Insider Jim Ayello here at Sonoma Raceway, where Joseph Newgarden just won the Verizon IndyCar Series Championship. It's just an incredible season for him. He finishes second today to teammate Simon Pagenaud, who finishes runner-up in the championship. But today was all about Joseph Newgarden and clinching that title, running flawlessly from the pole, and just getting it done, doing what it takes to make sure he clinched that championship. And just, you look back on what he has done this year, it is incredible, because I don't think that the storyline going in on him, and what most people believe, even someone as important to him and who knew as much about him as anybody else, and then Carpenter said he just didn't expect, I don't think anyone expected him to really put it all together so quickly once he got to Team Penske. Carpenter was telling me about how he watched Simon Pagenaud and Juan Pablo Montoya, two immense talents, take a year to kind of figure everything out, and then kind of find their place in the Team Penske culture. And he assumed Newgarden would take that time. He knew he was an incredible talent, but he just figured it would take some time for Newgarden to kind of find his way. Didn't happen. First race, he finishes top 10, which was good, not great, but then after that, it's a podium at Long Beach, and it's a win at Barber, and from there was some adjustments, of course. There was a little tweaking here and there along the way, but eventually he rattles off 3 wins in 4 races, and just flourished and became the superstar talent everyone knew him to be, but I think sooner than everyone thought might be possible. So just an incredible season for Joseph Newgarden, completely deserving of it. It was emotional after the race, just kind of thinking back about all the people who had helped him come up along the way, from his parents to Mark Dismore at Newcastle, to racing in Europe, to everybody at Sarah Fisher and at Carpenter, and then the Penske team and all the drivers that he's worked with there. It kind of overwhelmed him to see his family there and to see everyone so happy, and it was an incredible moment for Newgarden and for Team Penske, who wins, by the way, his 15th open wheel championship. So incredible success there, and an incredible champion in Newgarden, and it won't be surprising to see Newgarden contend for championships year after year. He is an elite and special talent, and this was his breakout season. This is the year that we're going to remember for a long, long time. Joseph Newgarden made his statement that he's going to be among the best for a long time. So credit to him for doing that and holding off some other really great drivers to win a championship this year. Obviously, Simon Pagenaud won the race, had the best race of his season, I should say. That's what he told me. And then but just wasn't enough, obviously, with Newgarden finishing second. So big race for Simon. He's very happy with his season. Obviously, not happy with the way things ended. He said he kind of peaked, but just kind of came a little bit late, later than he had hoped, and just things didn't quite break the same way that they had last year. But he is hungry for a championship, hungrier now, I think, than he was before when he won his first one. So huge for him. The other major storyline will be Helio Castroneves, who this is just a guess, but he just seemed like a guy, when I talked to him after the race, resigned to the fate that he might be leaving IndyCar. That might have been his last race. There have been reports to the contrary that he might be sticking around, but Helio definitely talked like a guy who's going to be going in a different direction next year. He said he'd be driving for sure, but he just definitely implied, you should read Brant James's story on USAtoday.com. Definitely implied that this was the end. So if it was the end for him, he came up just short again of a championship. 20 seasons in IndyCar, could never get it done. No regrets, though. He said it's been a great career. He's done great things. 3 Indianapolis 500 championships and so many top 5 finishes in the season championship. He has been a great ambassador to IndyCar, for IndyCar, and will continue to be. He'll be back for the Indy 500. He said regardless, we'll keep seeing him. So, but yeah, definitely seemed like a guy who was soaking it all in at the end. And so for an IndyCar fan that got to see him have a good drive at the end, he finishes 5th behind Scott Dixon, who finishes 4th, and Will Power, who finished 3rd. So bittersweet for sure to see if that was the last Helio Castroneves season race. We'll obviously see him in May, but yeah, bittersweet, I think, for everybody, if that's what it was. So anyway, this has been Jim Ayello at Sonoma Raceway, where again Joseph Newgarden capped a phenomenal season with a 2nd place run here, and it wins the season championship. Expect to see more of those down the road. Thanks for joining me tonight, and thanks for joining me all season long. I'll be covering IndyCar. There's so many more storylines. We have the schedule. We got more driver movements, so there'll be more content. So follow along on IndyStar.com and USAtoday.com. Thanks very much.